What's up, guys? Econ John here. Welcome to a little bit of a sort of political video where I'm going to be talking about ParEcon because I was working on a crash course in ParEcon because I thought it was a really cool idea, even though I don't really agree with a lot of the principles that are in it. But I was also doing some of my own reading on microeconomic theory, and I really found that there's was like really a gap in the literature in terms of actually citing someone that proposed a similar sort of method, right? So that's what this video is really about, and really talking about how ParEcon is really not a unique idea, and it wasn't founded in 1990 or didn't, and Robin Hanel and Michael Albert were not the first to go and talk about these ideas. Let's go. So in a nutshell, ParEcon is the theoretical model of an economy proposed by Michael Albert and Robin Hanel, where all the producers and consumers are organized into councils which bargain with each other before actual trade occurs, in conjunction with an allocation organization to work out potential kinks in the plan without causing a lot of damage. Consumers make requests and firms respond with the material costs need to make those requests over a shadow market. Practically, it would work back and forth like eBay, where individuals and firms would place offers on goods and prices, and they would update them accordingly as price changes before an actual transaction goes and takes place. The procedure would continue for a set number of iterations before production and distribution of goods goes and takes place. So it just reduces a lot of the confusion. The advantage that this method theoretically has over a market, I don't necessarily agree with this, or a planning bureau, is that it forces the society by construction that each individual makes decisions with how it affects others. The model was first proposed mathematically formally in the 1991 Political Economy of ParEcon, though it was proposed earlier in another book that I can't quite remember, written by Michael Albert in 1990. So French economist Edmund Malevich wrote about the same iterative process in his paper Decentralized Procedures for Planning in 1967. In his model, there consists of a planning bureau with knowledge of the consumer's utility function and a group of M firms, having a total of M plus one agents. The planning bureau does not know what each of the firm's technology is, but acts in interest of the consumers. So he proceeds to make bids on each of the goods, and the firms reveal the required costs. They proceed to go and engage in this process until convergence, and then production and distribution occurs. This is similar to the method used in ParEcon, but how exactly does it compare to ParEcon? Let's compare the text. So this is from the first page of Albert and Hanel's uh, Political Economy of Participatory Economics, right? Where they're going and saying that in this book, we argue for a new alternative based on public ownership and decentralized planning procedure in which workers and consumers propose and revise their own activities until equitable, efficient plan is reached. So this is talked about further in chapter 4 about the actual mechanics of what's going on, but it is a iterative procedure, and the reason why I didn't go and show that over there because it's literally just the whole chapter that you'd have to go through, where it goes and talks about this back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. um, so enter Edmund Malevich, where in his paper he goes and he talks about the organization of firms and a planning bureau in synchronization together, right? Where he goes and he says, only the individual firms or highly specialized industry office can have particular knowledge of the conditions governing production in their particular field. Some way must, therefore, be found for these firms and offices to participate in the preparation of the plan. So there, he's talking about a participatory process. So Malevich further goes and shows how this process goes on, right? We see in this boxed area, we can represent the process by the schema below in the various stages of the procedure are designated by the superscript little s, and B denoted the prospective indices circulated at the stage, meaning that the initial offer made by the planning bureau. And F notes the proposal submitted by the firms at this stage. and PS is designates the plan, meaning the convergence, the final, point where everyone's going and making the deal and following through with this. So what we see here is that this is the same planning procedure, or the participatory planning procedure described in ParEcon. So, and is claimed to be a new idea. Here we don't really see that it's a new idea. It was actually presented in 1967. So the bottom line is that it seems to me that ParEcon is not necessarily a novel idea formulated by Robin Hanel and Michael Albert. Its mechanics are similar to how Vaughan described his participatory process in 1967. This is problematic because, at least in principle, that Vaughan is not cited once for his iterative procedure in the political economy of ParEcon, or not even brought up in consideration, which is something that's a little troubling. In technical terms, what's up with that? So, did you like this video? Am I completely off with my idea? Let me know in the comments below. Take care.